Biden administration is asking for a request from Congress to pass emergency funding for aid for Afghan resettlement, along with the hurricane victims. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? This is Kyle Patrick, bringing you news as I see it. So a few days ago, I saw that the Washington Post posted an article that the White House has requested Congress to fund disaster relief and also for the Afghan resettlement, to fund the legal immigration process for the new Afghan refugees, that evacuation out of Kabul. It says here that the White House requests from Congress another spending relief package, tens of billions of more dollars, to aid supportive infrastructure behind those affected by the hurricane, but also added a small side note by requesting an additional $6.4 billion for the relocation process of bringing Afghans into our country, that our tax dollars will most likely be paying for, of course. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist, correct me if I'm missing something here. So, in a nutshell, 9/11 sparked a 20-year war to go after the Taliban and an attempt to westernize the Middle East, which led to billions in funding to the industrial military complex, which ultimately ended with a botched evacuation of thousands of Afghan allies and citizens, whilst leaving our own behind for slaughter. And to rub salt in the wound, request Congress for federal funding to help the thousands of evacuees for assistance and a legal immigration process in our country that we, that's right, we will be paying for. And to put this all in perspective, the federal government doesn't fund the 9/11 Memorial Museum in New York. They are solely kept alive by ticket sales from tourists, by which people in the city are enraged about, of course, calling it greed. No, I call it that, unfortunately, no thanks to the federal government, that is their only source of income, because the government does not have their priorities straight. This was a botched evacuation, an absolute disaster. Close to over $80 billion in military utilities just left there abandoned for the Taliban to take over. So stupid. Now, part of this request for the funding, I don't have any problem with the hurricane victims. That's not what I'm talking about here. That's fully respectable. Obviously, this makes sense. The problem that I have is that the White House clearly coupled these two issues together, kind of as a pressure tactic on Congress to prove the federal funding needed for this resettlement. They pushed the two together for the approval process because they know if they didn't, the odds are that the relief amount they are requesting wouldn't have gone through. The White House is asking for $14 billion in aid to respond to natural disasters that occurred from Hurricane Ida, as well as an additional $6.4 billion to pay for the ongoing relocation of thousands of Afghans. The White House's request for short-term funding needs comes as it works on unrelated legislation for the approximately $3.5 trillion budget deal that Democrats are seeking to shape this month in Congress. That sweeping package would overhaul the social safety net, authorize new climate change programs, raise taxes on corporations, and achieve a number of other Biden administration priorities. Raising taxes on corporations. I don't need to explain the rest of that, what that means. So a lot of this money goes to the Afghan relocation program, making them legal citizen, going through the legal citizenship. Oh my God. Millions of Americans have lost their jobs. They have lost everything. Our own government cannot take care of this country. Meanwhile, Biden's administration is begging for funding from Congress to help more immigration from Afghanistan. And to top it all off, the Biden administration is also negotiating with the Taliban, possibly to administer funds to them in order to grow their community over in Afghanistan, to help them, to grant them foreign aid. So not only did we just leave all of the military utilities overseas, we're also going to give the Taliban money, potentially, from what I've heard, from what I've read so far. Wow. The utter lack of self-awareness by the United States government is absolutely appalling. what was our reason for staying over there anyway? I would assume for more military funding to conquer the Taliban, which of course they did not do in a course of 20 years. Over the last 20 years, there's a new generation of Taliban that don't even know why the troops were deployed there in the first place. They grew up in this mess. It's been an absolute crapshoot for longer than this. The Middle East has never been able to get along. 50 years ago, 30 years ago, 20, 15, 10, 5 years ago. It doesn't matter. They are never going to westernize. I don't even know why we bother. It is still a travesty today. The United States need to mind their own freaking business. They need to realize that they can't change the world. Or this is just an excuse for funding the industrial military complex. We should have never maintained a military presence for close to 20 years in the Middle East. We have accomplished nothing. This was an absolute waste of time and taxpayer money. It's insulting. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, opinions on this matter, comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe. I try to upload more than once a week, but unfortunately life does get in the way. And now with Biden signing a executive order, decree to mandate the new vaccination for private businesses, this is a massive story. I'll definitely be covering that as well very soon. And also I have a big trip coming up, and I'm going to be recording it. So look out for that as well, upcoming video. This is a big one. So thanks for checking me out. Comment, subscribe, like. I love you guys. Catch you guys real soon.